Hello everybody and welcome to this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins. Before we have a closer look at all the content, make sure that you do hit the thumbs up button, also subscribe to the channel and turn on the notifications. For those of you that do want to take the next step in your game and improve it even more, scan the QR code that is here on the screen or use the link patreon.com/golfclashtom you can find in the description down below. That will take you to our platform where you can find all our premium guides, checkpoint challenge, tour play, and tournament play. Last but not least, the info box on the right hand side gives you the club distance adjustment, elevation adjustment, also what ball and club type I suggest you to play with. Have in mind that those are all suggestions and you don't have to follow it if you don't want to, but there is always a plan behind it. So let's go to hole number 1. Hole number 1, we are going to go straight down the fairway using our extra mile. Here, using a quasar or a navigator is definitely a preferred choice. And what we're doing is, after that, we adjust max plus 20 with our extra mile. After we have made the adjustment, we do center the ball to hit perfect. And we do want the ball to get as far down the fairway possible without risking rolling too long into the rough. We do play on a very flat fairway. There are no real risks here. Even if you go into the rough, you will have no problem reaching for the green into. Using the thorn here on the second shot, here you can play with whatever short iron you prefer to play with. All about finding a spot that gives you a consistent first bounce, and sometimes that is on the fairway before the green, sometimes that is on green. So we do make the setup, leaving the ball guideline slightly short. We are making the adjustment that is with an elevation that is minus 10%. After the adjustment, we do center the ball to hit perfect. And a perfect ball here will have a good chance to a drop. It's not gimme, but it has a very good chance to drop. For hole number 2, we are going to move up and do a rough bump. And here you can play with literally any ball. You can see that I'm setting one backspin and having then the ball guideline through the hole. A slight little gap between the top of the yellow ring and the edge of the rough line. Adjust is going to be min plus 20. And once we have adjusted that one, just when we have adjusted, we're going to center the ball and hit perfect. The reason we go for the rough bump here is to allow ourselves to play with the sniper, because playing on the fairway before the rough and the sand is going to limit to what you can do, because you're most likely going to be in between clubs. For hole number 3 here, this is going to be a very difficult par 5 to get anything else than an eagle on. Here I do recommend that you play it for an eagle, and anything better than that is going to be just seen as a massive bonus. 2.5 bar top spin, 2 left spin. My intention is to bounce over the rough and the sand there by the corner, and here you can see that I'm playing with a P3 ball. What I would like to say though is that if you have the possibility to play with a power 4 or a power 5 ball, that is going to be miles easier for you to lock in the eagle. I understand though that you have to have obtained some P5 balls like the Berserker ball from the free golden shot, or that you have purchased a special ball at some point. In the video you can see me play with a P3 ball, but you will see the second shot how difficult that will be to get any sort of close. It's gonna be by the green obviously, but it's gonna be difficult. Now on the second shot, the big dog as a club, we do want to have as much distance possible, power possible on our club, because here we are going to want to use as little topspin possible. But as you can see as well, with a P3 ball, we're going to have to use quite a bit. So once again, using a P3 ball is not ultimate here. A P5 ball will definitely make you reach much further down the fairway and give yourself a much better look at the eagle. But now we are smart. We are going into the rough and roll out. Now, very lucky to that actually being on fairway, because that is what we want to be. We want to be on the green or on the fairway to get ourselves the eagle. Hole number 4, we are going to play with our sniper, and here we're gonna play with a Marlin ball. And the reason for the Marlin ball is to allow ourselves to not pull in between clubs if we do have a tailwind. We're adjusting topspin to get the ball guideline into the hole. Adjust is gonna be min plus 10 here in this particular wind angle. Once we have done that, we center the ball to hit perfect. The hard part with this part 3 that needs to be said is that if you do hit some bad grades here, you might put yourself in a spot where you will clip the rough and then maybe roll up onto the fringe on the side. It is a quite finicky part 3, and it's called the hourglass in layman's terms. So it's a fun part 3, but you need to catch the groove correctly, have the ball guideline corrected, and this could be an absolute brilliant chance for an hole-in-one, or it's just gonna be a simple birdie play. Take your game to the next level with our Ultimate Tournament Text Guides for Expert and a Master Division for the 7th anniversary tournament. It's honestly unbelievable that we have been playing this game for so long, but we keep on making guides, keep on improving players play, and having fun in the game. Scan the QR code here on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy via the link in the description down below. Have in mind that you can play with free-to-play balls and paid balls and follow our guides and get some success. In my opinion, having a guide makes you save money because it will take away the need of doing those extra practices, spending those extra ball, and spending that extra time that otherwise have to do to be competitive and get to the weekend round. So once again, get to the weekend round in an easy way and compete for the top spots with our Ultimate Tournament Text Guide. Scan the QR code or use the link in the description down below. For hole number 5, depending on what type of club and ball you have the possibility to use, you can either go directly onto the small fairway there to the left, or you have to lay up on the right. If you have any sort of tailwind or a club with a lot of curl, let me explain the thing with a lot of curl there a little bit later here in this video. But if we do have some tailwind and a P5 ball, we can go with all the topspin, bounce into the rough to roll as close to the green possible. This will leave a short wedge, which obviously is going to be easier to drop than a short iron or a long iron. If you do have a lot of curl on your club, combined with having at least 6 bars of topspin, so like an Apocalypse in a decent level, you can go and bounce on the right side fairway to bounce it over the water up towards the green. Second shot, if we make it over there, is going to be a fairly simple wedge. Here you play with the wedge that you feel the most comfortable with, but I would recommend one thing, and that is to give yourself the wedge that gives you the best ball guideline, because having a good ball guideline will truly help you maximize your chances of dropping an eagle. Perfect ball rolls up the green, and we are dropping a nice eagle for an eagle here on hole 5. Hole number 6 is, we have 3 par 5s of the Glen Monarch estate that is really difficult. And the only thing that we're focusing on from the first tee, especially with low level clubs, is to get ourselves the eagle in the easiest way possible. Now, playing with a power 5 ball here would at least make the drive much easier. It's not really going to make the second shot much easier, but at least getting over to this pad that we're getting to is essential for making us getting fairly close to the green in 2. Max plus 10 on the drive, using max overpower, trying to clip the rough on the other side. Second shot, we do have our big dog, and here we do want to use 2 right spin or more if you have to. Like, the more right spin you have, the better it's going to be. And what we're looking for is to adjust max with no elevation, and then we're going to go max curl to the right. Again, the more curl you have, the better it's going to be. You can go for some sort of a power play, meaning like you are aiming much further left and then you can kind of like slice it or hook it. I don't remember really what's it called when it comes left to right, and then you can get the ball to green. But that requires a lot of skill, and I would not attempt that if I wouldn't know exactly how to play the numbers with the club that I'm having. Now, putting ourselves for a wedge, and the wedge here now, it's not going to be a gimme. Then, I mean, now you see me going for a dunk, and obviously you can go for a dunk as well, but it's going to generally be a wedge, and that's what I'm focusing the most on. And wedge plays just like normal. Try to play with a wedge that do have a good ball guideline to help yourself get that ball in the hole. This is a par 5 that you will see more birdies than that you will see albatrosses, like by a mile. There's going to be very, very few albatrosses here, and the only time you can actually get an albatross here would be if you do have some good clubs and balls. Otherwise, it's very easy to do what I'm doing there, getting a poor execution on the third shot, and then all of a sudden you do have a birdie on a par 5. Hole number 7, we are going to bounce over the water, and the reason we're going to bounce over the water is because I do believe we have more control with this type of play rather than trying to go for a rough bump above the water. Now, obviously, if you feel like going a bit more aggressive, going for the rough bump above the water is not wrong. It's just a different way of attacking the hole that may be a little bit too aggressive, especially if you are playing from the first tee with lower level clubs. I'm playing with a Marlin ball here. This allows myself to be able to play with a sniper in tailwinds. If you do have a headwind, you can play with a navigator or a quasar if you would so like, but otherwise it's a Marlin that is the ball to play with. It bounces on the fairway, we have some topspin, lands on the fringe, rolls up the green, and we're dropping nicely dead center for the hole-in-one. Mid plus 20 is what I'm using as my adjustment. For hole number 8, you can either play on the left-hand side or the right-hand side. The most conservative way of playing the drive is on the left-hand side. It also offers a really good chance for a drop, because what we're doing is that we're playing just straight up the left-hand side, leaving ourselves short iron towards the pin. Now, if you do want to go frisky and aggressive, you can go with a club that do have a lot of curl, together with a power 3 plus ball, and actually try to just get this ball to green. You can most definitely go for the hole-in-one, even though this is a par 4, but again, you do need to have some decent clubs, or like you do need to have a decent driver and also a decent ball to use. So here, using a quasar, I adjust max plus 10, and then the ball will bounce on the fairway and land nicely and be perfectly positioned for the second shot. The second shot, you can see we do have more or less a straight tailwind, and that is as easy as it gets when it comes to a short iron. So what I'm doing is I'm checking where min club is, and I'm checking where max club is, and then I go from there. So you can see here now with my thorn, I play with no spin. Now, obviously, having a better ball guideline with our short iron would most definitely be more helpful, but we do our best with what we have. No elevation on the second shot, we have no uphill, no downhill, and then it's in the end all about the speed, and that's where the ball guideline comes in from. If we do have a good ball guideline, this shot would have been so much easier than what it is now. It's still easy in my opinion in terms of getting ourselves a chance, but the drop rate will obviously be less when we don't have a good ball guideline. Dropping this one, still center pin. For hole number 9, what we're going to do is that we're going to use 2 left spin and 1 top spin with our Titan and our extra mile. When we have set up the position, we are adjusting max plus 15. And once the adjustment is done, we are going to use all the left curl that we can. And what that means is I want to use half a ball of left curl. If you do have more than that, don't use more than that, because we do not want to risk rolling into the rough there at the top, or we don't want to risk the rough in the bunker on the left either. Because this is unfortunately a par 5 that where the pin is standing, there isn't really a chance for an albatross here. If you're not trying something really strange or weird off tee, such as like a power hook or something like that. But that is not something we're gonna do. On the second shot, our only intention is to get as safe as possible to either on the green or on the fringe, just lock in the eagle.
Thank you so much, everybody, for watching this playthrough for Rookie Division with various wins. If you do want to improve your game even more, scan the QR code here on the screen or go directly to patreon.com/golfclashtommy via the link in the description down below. Last but not least, hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notifications. Those 3 things will help the channel immensely. Thank you once again for watching. I wish you the best of luck in the Golf Clash game.